At 4ZZZ, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we broadcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging of the Turrbal and Jagera people. We acknowledge that their sovereignty over this land was never ceded.
And we stand in solidarity with them.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
Good morning, Manjin and the wider world listening on digital radio. You are listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, and I am your host, Sev. My pronouns are he and they.
I'm Ez, he, him.
And today we are joined in studio by a very special guest. Hey, Cal.
Hi, how you doing?
So good. They join us from the Affirming clothing drive and are here to talk all about an upcoming event, the Trans Town Hall.
Yes, I am.
Cal, that sounds fascinating. Immediately, you've got me hooked. Please tell us, what is Trans Town Hall?
All right, so Trans Town Hall is sort of a project that's been informed by a ton of different things people have tried to do over the past, 2 years. Essentially, trans people are great, and we love trans people, and we love hanging out.
Woo!
Sorry.
Which is the main thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also really disorganized. I remember last year at Pride, during Pride, 3 different trans organizations held a Pride event on the same day, and the entire community was split between all 3 of them, including me. RIP.
Yeah.
But,
you're running around to
yeah.
all 3 of the events. Yeah.
So Trans Town Hall, the sort of point of this event is to get as many activists and community organizers in the trans movement together at the same time so that they can talk to each other.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, I think so.
You're herding cats here, Cal.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
jest, but also I'm legitimately so serious because I myself find, I'm labeled an activist. I do work clearly in the community, but I desperately need to connect with other trans activists. I desperately need to listen and learn. And, being real, how many of us are a few years into our transition and start believing we know everything about trans activism?
Oh, genuinely.
When, I desperately need to be learning at the feet of people who've been doing this for decades as well. And I feel like Trans Town Hall sounds like the perfect opportunity to bring us all together in a place where we can actually share our resources, information, and learn from each other. So, please, Trans Town Hall, is this the first time this event's happening?
Yes, it is our very first go at it, so I don't know how well it's going to go, but I'm pretty excited. The goal is, I think, to do this yearly. So this first time's going to be a bit of a demo. We'll see how it goes. And then next year, hopefully, we'll be doing it again, and it'll get better and better every year.
From small seeds.
Exactly.
So who is invited? Who would you like to come to Trans Town Hall?
Yeah, so the event is mostly geared towards activists and community organizers, so people who are actually running the events and campaigning and doing these movements. But I mean, anybody who's interested in the trans movement, is a trans person who is interested in politics, feel free to come around. If you think you want to get into activism, this is also a great opportunity. We're going to be doing 2 workshops, one on some basic movement theory and one on how to have conversations with people, relational conversations, which I think are helpful to anybody who wants to participate. So yeah, gearing to more activist people, but if you're interested, come.
Yeah, totally. You should totally come.
That sounds incredible. I'm definitely going to go. You is?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm an activist.
So when and where, please?
Yeah, so it's going to be on the 30th of June, so the last Sunday of the month, at Jagera Hall, which is the big hall at the end of Musgrave Park. If you're also going to Meanjin People's Pride or any of those sorts of events, it'll be held at the same place on the same weekend, so you'll already know where we are.
So you can just finish up at your Pride and then go for a wander up the road and get educated. active. I'm just trying to fuse 2 words there. It didn't work. It's fine. It's cool. We'll just move on.
Yep.
I am so excited for this. So this is Trans Town Hall on June 30th from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m.
Yeah, doors open at 3, but we don't start until 3:30. Yeah, that's how
Just
it goes.
come mingle early.
Come hang out. That's kind of the point of the whole event.
This sounds awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, super keen. Let's get amongst it. And really, with so much happening in the world, with trans issues being such a hot ticket issue and so sensationalized in the media, the more practice we have and gathering and communicating. And I love the idea of a communications workshop, just like how to have conversations with people, because honestly, things can get so tiring and infuriating sometimes. It's hard to remember that some people are approaching these, rights issues for the first time.
Yeah.
And don't know how to navigate them, because for us it seems like the most simple common sense in the world to treat us like human beings with rights and access.
It's also like, we're not monolith, the trans community not monolith, and our opinions do vary from person to person, just like anyone really. But that's what the right want. They want us to be confused and disorganized, because then we don't actually achieve anything and get anywhere. So when we come together and actually figure out how we can communicate and work together, we can actually see some real change and tangible progress. So
I'm also really looking for some inspiration for activism in the community, because I think when you feel like a solo individual battling the weight of this struggle, it can grind you down.
Yes.
We have strength in numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you must have seen this as well. How many times have you been to like a rally and there's like 8 different speakers and they all speak about completely disconnected things? And they're like, guys, get amongst it. Let's all do this. And in that audience, like, how are you supposed to get amongst 12 different campaigns?
Yeah. Also, like, being an activist, or like feeling like you're an activist, or how to advocate for someone, if you're getting lots of mixed messages about the directions that you're moving, you end up feeling paralyzed. So then you end up not doing anything. So yeah, we need to sync some thinking and sync some ideas with each other.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I can't wait. We'll see you at Trans Town Hall on June 30th. Cal, while we've got you, could you just give me a little bit of background on the Trans Affirming Clothing Drive? I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Trans Affirming Clothing Drive is a project I started up in March of last year, out of my little baby brain by myself. I had a little conversation with a younger trans guy who was in high school at the time, who I was sort of like, not really mentoring, but I was doing the inevitable older brother trans thing that happens. And so they were talking about like they had so many like little trans friends, which already surprised me, who just like couldn't get binders and stuff, and they wanted to help in some way. And I was like, I can do that for you. So I started up this project. It's a bit mutual aid-y, a bit like me just really grinding, where I'd collect like binders that other people weren't using anymore, and I'd give them out to anyone who needed them. It was a really fun project. Eventually we started doing like social events and stuff, which is what eventually led to the Trans Town Hall. Yeah, unfortunately, earlier this year, we had to put it on a bit of a pause. We haven't had enough donations to be able to, like, give out the binders that people are requesting. So, yeah, we're not super active on that front right now. But hopefully, I've got my eyes on getting some more funding, some more stuff, and we might be opening up back again soon.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed, and best of luck to you, because that's such an essential service, and we would love to talk more about that. And obviously, listeners out there, if that's a thing that has piqued your interest and you're like, hey, I've got some bucks I can spare and I care about supporting the trans community, I feel like you could just drop into Cal's DMs maybe on Instagram and talk about how to best support these projects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're Trans Affirming Clothing Drive on Instagram, and then we also have a Facebook group if you want to join that. And I love chatting. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
And that Trans Affirming Clothing Drive account, is that the best place to find you for Trans Town Hall content as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you can find it on Ez's Instagram as well.
Yeah, no, at Trans Radio with a Z. You can check that out. I've shared everything up there.
Yeah, sick.
Incredible.
You can also follow me on Instagram, because I post a lot of cool
Self-plug,
stuff.
do it.
Self-plug.
Where do we find you, Cal?
Cal, it's a difficult Instagram to say. It's cal.adedia on
Incredible.
Instagram. Yeah.
If you're struggling to find that, listeners, don't worry. We will send a shared post out from Cal's account to the Transmission socials this morning so you can find them easily.
Thank you.
Cal, thank you so much for coming into 4ZZZ today. Love what you're doing and can't wait to come to Trans Town Hall.
Yeah, sick. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. We've got some more incredible interview guests coming up shortly. You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ.
Amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Meanjin, Brisbane and beyond.
Transmission on 4ZZZ brings you the latest in trans community news, music and events.
Every Tuesday from 9am till 10am.
Join our team of hosts for an hour of celebrating the unique perspectives of the trans community.
Transmission, Tuesday mornings from 9am till 10am on 4ZZZ. Transmission, all about amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Meanjin and beyond. And this morning, we've already heard from Cal about the Trans Hall meetup that we've got, Trans Town Hall, that's coming up. There's also, Cal forgot to mention, that there is a free community dinner. So if you want some food when you come along, there's...
If you didn't already want to come to Trans Town Hall and talk to a bunch of other trans activists, there'll be free dinner, fam. So see you all there. That's June 30th.
Some meals. Anyway, we've also got some other guests this morning. Really dear friends of a friend, actually, and now we're all connected. So, now we're all friends. We've got Max and Kat. How you doing? Oh. Okay, we'll get your mics on, don't we?
Yeah, wonderful to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I've got two bios here. I'm gonna read your handwritten one. So Rufio Max, who manages projects in public health, relationships and sexuality education and abortion advocacy, to talk about a recent project in reproductive justice across the gender spectrum, and their creative partner Kat Fry. Luna Cat is deeply invested in queer/camp photography, exploring themes that challenge normality and celebrate diversity. Their work often resides in the studio setting, where they skillfully manipulate light and form to capture the essence of their subjects. Ooh, can I be a subject? Their art practice celebrates the multifaceted nature of existence, delving into identity, sexuality, vulnerability, playfulness, performance, and shape. Luna Cat's work is a testament to the belief that art has the power to challenge, provoke, and ultimately foster understanding. So yeah, welcome.
Beautiful, thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I don't even know where to start with questions because all of this sounds fascinating. But straight off the top, I would just love to know a little bit about the Reproductive Justice Project and what that's about, please.
Yeah, cool. So it's a project that's just wrapped up that I worked with Children by Choice, who are a local pregnancy and abortion options counselling service. So they predominantly do a lot of pre and post abortion counselling. And so they acknowledged that there was, a gap in both the knowledge in the healthcare system and also in trans knowledge ourselves, because if the doctors don't know, we don't know. And so brought me in to manage a project to increase awareness within health settings about our needs, because, well, let's be real, trans guys and non-binary people and gender diverse people can become pregnant and need access to safe abortion services. And so that was the key motivators for the project, of which we ended up doing an incredibly beautiful poster series, which Luna Cat was the photographer on. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And also research, actually, and there's two other pieces of resources that I can talk about too.
That is so powerful and so essential. I've just had a peek at the poster series and the photos taken by Kat. This is such a stunning collection of images, so powerful, so evocative.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I think it's really beautiful in the sense that it's important to have photos that do justice to queer and trans bodies, because there's so little of our bodies represented out there anywhere. So this is just, I'm very touched actually. And it caught me by surprise. Our wonderful mutual friend Jody, sensational 4ZZZ volunteer, sent me some of the snaps, and I just wow, breathtaking.
Yeah, and so these posters feature, there's 4 in the series, and they have, one's a group image and a couple and a glamour period, we call it, and then the 3 boys. And they're already up. On the day that I launched them 2 weeks ago, they were put up in an abortion access centre in Adelaide. We got sent pictures of them in a service in Cairns yesterday. They're up in unis around Brisbane. This project has just been fucking incredible and couldn't have happened without the collective support of people that showed up. Another aspect of this project was research on trans reproductive health access in Australia. Spent 3 months trying to get people to weigh in on that. We put an EOI out and had 20 expressions over a weekend, and the people that showed up for this photo shoot, it was just like gender diverse humans, models, come on in.
Incredible day, you know. Like how long we were in the studio? 9 hours maybe?
Probably,
but yeah.
It was a collective collaboration. Like I said, none of it would have been possible without everyone's belief in the project. The joy was palpable on the day, and people walked away with senses of belonging that they articulated on the door on the way out. We started with a check-in and a check-out, which was just lovely. And the shared emotional and supportive gains behind the scenes, just everyone chatting. Like, I could have put a recorder out for the research because they just shared stories about their own experiences of the healthcare system, which we know for trans people often causes more harm than good. And those stories just created such a strong sense of connection.
Even just looking at those pictures now for the first time myself, the sense of overwhelm and emotional overwhelm that I'm feeling, just that representation, that beauty, it's already such a hot topic trying to talk about reproductive health and rights and period health and rights when you are a trans masculine person.
Yeah.
It's already so difficult, and talking about those needs in spaces that are traditionally and primarily women's spaces can also raise a lot of uncomfortable and ugly conversations with a lot of people. So just seeing something that immediately resonates, that represents, that I can connect to, I genuinely is made me quite emotional. They're so powerful and beautiful. Thank you for this incredible work. If our listeners wanted to go and look at these images right now, what would be the best place to do that? How can they see them?
They're all downloadable from the Children by Choice website. You click on the resources tab and then scroll down to the Gender Spectrum Project. And I'm also sure that UMob can put up a link maybe directly to them, and then you don't have to click through a couple of things. But they're all downloadable. And like I said, people have been putting them up in certainly health spaces, hospitals, clinics, but things like where any medical practitioner, particularly in community, like school-based youth health nurses, you know, in youth spaces, in queer spaces, in anywhere that you want to raise the visibility, kind of flag inclusivity. It doesn't have to be a rainbow. It can be a beautifully complex image that says things like, people are as diverse as their healthcare needs. Compassionate reproductive healthcare requires conversation or assumption, not assumption, sorry. Or like the other one says, we all deserve safe access to reproductive healthcare. Trans and gender diverse people deserve safe access to healthcare. And just putting these up, like, it can replace that rainbow, or it can be an education piece, you know what I mean? The other one says, some boys bleed, some men need abortions. And it's got an image of 3 trans masc individuals who are shirtless with their arms crossed, but it's still compassionate. Mm-hmm. And it just, the ability to use artistic imagery with real people gets to convey the complexity of the messaging that everyone's trying to grapple to understand, even with the best of intentions, you know what I mean? This shit is new, this shit is complex. What? Sorry, a man needs an abortion? That comes as a real shock to the health practitioner as much as it does the man that's been on T for 9 years. Because it can fucking happen. And we don't even know about it because the health practitioners haven't been trained in it. So now, you know, it's that bottom up. It's the kids in school that are doing the advocacy. It's the, you know, I just got hired for 9 months to do this project. It's not like an ongoing thing. But we're doing it. We're leveling up. We're educating out. And I'm just so proud that these are already up and out there.
And through Children by Choice, this is a resource that is available. Like, anyone who has a centre or somewhere they can display and would like to display us, they can get these resources and share them.
They can download it and print it and share them. Please
everywhere.
I'm going to do that now.
I am also going to do that for
print
some
them
projects.
really big.
Absolutely
some,
incredible.
billboard spaces that could be.
I know.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any links with any billboard mob that have like a charity arm, you know what I mean, where they go like, oh yeah, this is a worthwhile thing to put on the. Yeah. Let's put some of these up.
To you, dear listener, if you would like some posters or would like to chat to Max and Kat and see if you can access some more things, aside from heading to the Children by Choice website and downloading it there, if you'd like to get in contact with them, you can touch base with Transmission, so trans.radio on our Instagram and our Facebook. And yeah, we can link you up. So yeah.
Beautiful.
And once again, we will share some of those images through the trans.radio Instagram so you can hook up with them nice and easily. Now, while we're talking, Kat, the creator and curator of these beautiful images.
Thank you.
I have, so you've got Is it at the Webb Gallery?
The Webb Gallery, yeah, at Griffith University at South Bank at the moment. So, yeah, during Pride Month and everything else that's happening in my life at the moment. Wow, what a ride. Yeah, so I've got my first solo exhibition. So I've got 2 projects up in the Webb Gallery. Did a performance last week as well, which will also be on view later this week. It's just such an exciting time. Yeah, it's such a beautiful project that I've done.
Can you describe the photography that you have on display there?
So I've got 2 projects. The first one I'll talk about is more of a photography based, and it's called Obscure. So last year I did a photo book, and so I'll read a little bit about Obscure. So Obscure is a photographic odyssey that beckons viewers to traverse the thin line between reality and mystery and find beauty in the enigmatic and overlooked. Obscure is a celebration of the nude, becomes not only an aesthetic pursuit, but a philosophical inquiry into the essence of being. Each image serves as a conduit for the exploration of the senses, transcending the confines of gender and identity. The concept of identity is pivotal in this project, advocating for the freedom found in self-exploration outside the constraints of established narratives. It is a call to embrace a new, inclusive narrative where individuals are celebrated as unique, beautifully complex beings.
Wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Stunning. That sounds incredible. How long is the exhibit running for?
It's up until the 26th of June. So we've got a closing night that night as well. So we might be doing another performance or maybe some poetry recital. I do love doing multimedia and throwing in as much as possible, especially in such a great space. It's just wonderful, because I love bodies. I love, the diversity and the beauty that shape and form and harmony can bring. And, it's just been wonderful to do this.
There's something so magical about trans bodies when we feel that we have the autonomy to create and shape ourselves for ourselves. And then to see imagery that just does this really beautiful, meeting of masculine and feminine features and blending into this beautiful, ambiguous thing that is trans and gender diverse bodies. They're just so beautiful. And I think your art really is a testament and just I don't know, what puts it on a pedestal, I don't know, the limelight, I don't know, just shows how beautiful we are,
Honouring and
yes, honouring.
It just is my heart.
Sorry, please, Max.
I was just going to say, it's like she can't not. It's this veneration and this admiration to existence and the diversity of that means that Luna Cat's projects are nothing but collaborative. This work that is currently showing in the Webb Gallery at QCA South Bank Griffith, from, what is it, Monday to Saturday? When are we there?
No, Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah, right. So we'll be there, a lot of it, and the gallery will be open. So it started as a photo book project with shoots over a year. I think there was 3 or 4 with myself and 2 other models, mostly nude, bodies floating in the void, dancing through existence, and bodies that can't be easily identified. And so to bring out this, it's just almost veneration for what can't be known. And then within 2 weeks before the exhibition, Kat had this idea of wanting a noisescape for the performance on Thursday night, in which she stripped her body, and the audience did, and then cut off all of her hair. But what was I saying? I just went to the performance.
Yeah, well, with the performance, because you've got, hold on, I'm also looking at photos at the same time.
It's wild. We got a lot going on this month, team. It's a creative powerhouse.
I really want people to check this out. So I'm going to recommend people head to, if you got it on Instagram, I've just shared on Transmission, trans.radio. You can check out I am Luna Cat, and you can take a look at some of the photos here. And then I implore you to head to South Bank and head to the Webb Gallery. That's still there?
Yeah, the Webb Gallery.
It's inside the building.
It's inside the building.
And that's till the 26th. 26th, right?
Yeah, till the 26th.
So you've got 1 week left to witness these artworks in state as they are. Highly recommend you get online and check them out and head down to the gallery, check them out in person, particularly while there are performances and interactive elements going on. This is clearly like a work of like a lot of passion.
It is,
love.
but it's collaborative and it's community, and I can't express how much joy it brings me to bring people together and to feel, it's like we delve into the realms of the unknown because we connect, and it just and you create magic.
I'm so interested. I can't wait to come check it out, because there is not just that, like you say, that veneration of, the power and strength and beauty in these bodies and people, but that I'm such a believer, looking now at photos of myself over my history, my personal transition, even, when I was a fashion fetish model, I look at pictures of myself as a woman and see a sad, unhappy person even when I'm beautiful. And I can look at candid pictures of me now, a thing I used to hate about myself, and see a guy living his best life, even when I can see flaws and wrinkles. Like the alchemy of creation, when we care about ourselves, when we can put that change into ourselves, when we embody our best selves, like something magical happens within us. Like it's happened within me. I can feel it. I can
power,
see it.
Yeah.
And to be able to collaborate with people when they're coming into their most powerful energy. I mean, what a ripe ground for incredible artwork. I'm so excited to come and check out your work, Kat. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you both so much for holding this space and doing this kind of work. It's invaluable.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you both as well.
Our absolute pleasure. So just before we say goodbye and leave you, because this has been a packed wall-to-wall show, please just give us one more reminder where we can find you individually and follow your work.
Well, at the moment, so yes, at the Webb Gallery at Griffith University, my Instagram will be on transmission, and but yeah, just stay tuned. I'm around. I am connected in community. Soon will be a website, but I love hearing people's stories, and I love taking photos. So anyone contact me, because
Lunacat. I am .lunacat on Instagram. I think I'm Rufio Max on Instagram, and soon to be a website.
Amazing. We will keep an eye on both. We will share them through the trans.radio socials. And Max, Kat, thank you both so very much for joining us on Transmission on 4ZZZ today.
Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Just before we wrap up, I wanted to share one last thing that is happening right now. For those that would be interested, the Southern Cross University is currently seeking participants for anonymous research survey about mental health in the trans community. They only need 15 minutes of your time to fill out a questionnaire if you feel up to that. Obviously, this is pretty important work. So if you've got 15 minutes to put towards it, it's conducted by a trans researcher. Welcomes all trans and gender diverse adults living in Australia to participate. We have also shared that on the Transmission socials earlier today. So if that takes your fancy, please do go and contribute, because the more data that we can collect, the better.
Yeah, that means things like government bodies and stuff can actually apply funding when they like stats, they like data, they like numbers. You know what the government's like. So if we can give it to them, then that would be very helpful.
Incredible. So you know the drill. Same bat time, same bat channel for more Transmission. You can join us next week. And yeah, a shout out to all of our fair listeners and subscribers out there. Remember, if your subscription has lapsed and you would like to get back in the fold, it is always a good time to head over to 4ZZZ.org.au/support, because we couldn't do what we do without you. All
Keep
right.
thriving.
You. Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.